How does a cult Hollywood icon go from time traveling in one of the most beloved movies of all time to standing at the center of explosive allegations involving control, eviction, fraud, and emotional distress? Because right now, that's exactly where Crispin Glover finds himself. And the story being told on both sides couldn't be more different. Crispin Glover, best known for playing George McFly in Back to the Future, has always been one of Hollywood's most mysterious figures, eccentric, unpredictable, quietly intense. Over the years, he built a reputation as someone who doesn't play by industry rules. He famously refused to return for Back to the Future Part 2 over a salary dispute, later suing the producers for using his likeness without permission, and he actually won. That lawsuit changed how studios handle actors' image rights, so controversy isn't new territory for him. But this is something else entirely. According to a lawsuit filed by a former girlfriend, identified only as Jane Doe, Glover is being accused of battery, fraud, wrongful eviction, malicious prosecution, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The complaint also references alleged violations under California's civil rights laws. These are serious allegations, and they paint a disturbing picture. But before jumping to conclusions, it's important to understand that these claims are allegations, not proven facts. Glover has strongly denied them, and his side of the story flips the entire narrative upside down. The story reportedly begins back in 2015. Jane Doe, described as a model from the United Kingdom, claims she first connected with Glover through social media. According to the complaint, she says he began messaging her and allegedly making what she described as strange advances. She claims he encouraged her to move to Los Angeles. For years, their connection remained mostly online.
Then, according to her filing, they met in person 8 years later in Dresden, Germany. During that meeting, she alleges that Glover showed her items from a collection that included Nazi memorabilia. That claim has circulated widely online, although Glover has not publicly addressed that specific allegation in detail. Jane Doe claims this meeting marked the beginning of what she describes as grooming behavior. She alleges that Glover promised her a completely new life, a fresh start, a career in entertainment, and some kind of professional partnership. According to the lawsuit, he allegedly told her she would have a home and a job working as his assistant if she moved to Los Angeles in 2024. And she says she believed him. She relocated. That's when, according to her complaint, everything changed. Jane Doe alleges that one day she left the home to go to a mosque. She says she told Glover where she was going and expected to return like normal. But when she came back, she claims she was locked out. According to her filing, she did not believe he would actually prevent her from re-entering, yet she alleges she discovered the locks had been changed and that he wanted her to find a new place to live. The complaint states she was evicted without notice or warning, rendering her homeless. And it didn't stop there.
She claims that when she attempted to retrieve her belongings, including her pet cats, the situation escalated physically. In her lawsuit, she alleges that Glover attacked her, grabbed her neck, and placed her in a headlock, leaving a visible wound and scar. Those are extremely serious accusations, but here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. Because Crispin Glover's representatives say the reality is the exact opposite. In a statement provided to media outlets, his team described the allegations as baseless. They claim that on March 2, 2024, Glover was actually the victim of what they call an unprovoked felony assault by Jane Doe at his Los Angeles residence. According to his representation, Glover called the LAPD. Police allegedly responded, investigated the scene, and arrested Jane Doe. They state that law enforcement records document this incident and that Glover filed a restraining order at that time. Jane Doe's lawsuit, however, alleges that the restraining order was malicious and fraudulent. She claims it was later dismissed for failure to prosecute. So now there are two completely conflicting narratives. On one side, a woman alleging captivity, coercion, assault, and wrongful eviction. On the other side, an actor claiming he was assaulted and forced to call the police. And it gets even more complicated. Jane Doe also accuses Glover of filing a false police report describing her as an unlawful intruder. She claims news of the restraining order went viral, causing permanent damage to her career and reputation. In her filing, she further alleges that even after the restraining order situation, Glover continued attempting to contact her to renew their relationship. Again, these are claims presented in court documents, not proven facts. Meanwhile, Glover's representatives have made it clear that he intends to vigorously defend himself. They've stated that he is confident the judicial process will expose the lawsuit as a meritless fabrication. And that word, fabrication, is strong. The lawsuit demands a jury trial. Jane Doe is seeking both special and general damages, along with legal costs and further relief determined by the court. If this proceeds to trial, it won't just be a private dispute anymore. It could become a highly public courtroom battle. And in today's digital age, public opinion often forms long before legal conclusions do. Online reaction has already been divided. Some fans express shock, saying they never expected something like this from the eccentric actor they've admired for decades. Others point out that Glover has always been a polarizing figure, intense, private, sometimes described as socially unconventional, and argue that none of this should be assumed true without evidence. There are also those reminding everyone that allegations alone don't equal guilt. And that's the uncomfortable tension here, because stories like this live in the gray area between accusation and proof.
It's also worth noting that Hollywood has seen a wave of high-profile allegations over the past decade. The industry has changed dramatically in how claims are handled and discussed. In some cases, accusations led to confirmed misconduct and legal consequences. In others, allegations collapsed under scrutiny. Every situation is different, and this one is still unfolding. The inclusion of terms like fraud, malicious prosecution, and emotional distress signals that this case may extend far beyond a simple relationship dispute. If both sides pursue aggressive legal strategies, we could see evidence presented that drastically reshapes the public narrative. But as of now, no court has ruled on the truth of either version. What makes this situation particularly volatile is the stark contrast between the stories. One version describes manipulation and control. The other describes self-defense and false accusations. They cannot both be fully accurate. And that's what makes this so gripping. Crispin Glover built a career playing unconventional characters, outsiders, men who don't quite fit in. His personal brand has always leaned into mystery. Now, that mystery is overshadowed by something far more serious. If the allegations are proven false, this could be seen as a devastating attack on his reputation. If any part of the claims are substantiated, the consequences could be severe, legally and professionally. For now, the only certainty is that this legal battle is just beginning. And as the judicial process moves forward, more details may surface that clarify what really happened inside that Los Angeles home. Until then, the public is left with two radically different accounts, each side insisting they are the victim. And sometimes in Hollywood, the real story doesn't come out until much later. The question is, when it does, who will it vindicate?